What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. This may well be the last video I ever record, and that is really weird. So, because we are coming up to the bitter end, we've only got a couple days left before the game servers are turned off, and we really don't know what's going to happen after that. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take a little trip down memory lane. I've got a few races that I'm going to run here if I can find them. All right, here we found it. Automotive Mastery. Don't know why I couldn't find it. I'm going to go run this race at Richmond Speedway. Now, the weird thing about this race at Richmond is if you joined late and you started playing, you're wondering what's going on with this track right here, because this is the only instance of Richmond Speedway in this game that's not a NASCAR race. And so you have to have been playing for close to 5 years at this point for the last time an instance of Richmond was brought out, I believe. It's been a while. I looked it up. I feel like it's about 5 years. I think it was the 2021 NASCAR update was the last time Richmond was in the game. And so that means this is it. And you're standing here either hating it and glad you don't have to race on it, or you're like, man, that was kind of cool. Or you're somewhere in the middle and you would just rather have more opportunity to race on more tracks, which is always what I thought would be neat. I actually always thought this would have made a good Formula E track. They could have put some kind of a chicane back here in the back straightaway and then done something on the front. And we could have gotten some extra use out of it, but obviously they never did that. But I did think that would be cool. So yeah, this is just sort of a trip down memory lane. I've got these races that just kind of stood out to me as being unique or whatever else. You see that I'm in not airplane mode here. I'm going to have to go into airplane mode in a minute because I'm going to run a couple endurance races, and I want to make sure I don't get anything too outlandish. And we've got one lap to go. Yeah, like I said, we don't know what's going to happen when the servers get turned off. I believe that unless they input some sort of a switch to just kill the game, that we will be able to continue playing. It's just we'll have limited access to, well, we'll have no access to new resources, especially motorsport dollars, but gold as well. Like, we'll be limited to farming for gold. Even right up here to the end, I am still upgrading cars because I wanted to have my motorsport dollars all the way at the end. All right, it's like nothing ever happened there. Put it into airplane mode. Where am I going next? I am going to NASCAR. And we're going to come all the way down here to the end. And I'm just going to, just for fun, do Indianapolis. Now, this car right here was the first like major car that I won. It was the first time limited series, and then you still had to buy it. That was one of the last cars that they ever released that allowed you to purchase it with racing dollars, and that was 10 years ago. So that sort of says something about where the game has gone, that they've just been all about leeching you for gold. But this car right here was, let me see if I can get down here and do a little drafting. This car was the first car that I ever had in the game, because when, come on, get behind him. Okay, because when I started playing, the Academy, or whatever it was called, was NASCAR. It was not the BMW car that was something different and is still there in, I think it was a BMW. I think it was like the Z4. But that was not the Academy for me. I had it with this car right here. And so this was the first group of races that I ever ran, was with this one. And they were all at Daytona and Indianapolis and Richmond. Because I joined on the update when the Daytona Speedway was released. I joined Real Racing 3 because of NASCAR. And 10 years later, I'm still playing, even though I did have quite a bit of a break. I always thought NASCAR, like many things that they've done, was a real missed opportunity, because EA has the maps for all the NASCAR tracks. So I don't understand why they didn't release them. Instead, they released, realistically, the two of the worst tracks that you can release for NASCAR, that being Daytona and Richmond, because Indianapolis was already in the game. Now we are going back to the road collection. Legend. Speaking of Daytona, forgot that I put that car in for service. Okay. Well, let's see. We'll do it different. And no, it's not master. Yeah, right here. Now I have to find it. Bear with me. Daytona Speedway in, let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's do it in this, just for the absurdity of it. 4 laps at Daytona in the Dodge Charger. Now, this is very much a car like what Richard Petty would have raced here way back when. This is one of the few races at Daytona on the Speedway. Most races at Daytona are NASCAR races. There's this one, and then there's the one in the McLaren IndyCar prototype gimmick that I wanted to race, and then there's one in the Hennessy Venoms, the Venom and then the Venom GT or whatever it was called that they came out with a couple years later. But that's it. That's all we got for Daytona. We got 4 or 5 races at the track on the Speedway. Obviously, we have a lot of races on the road course and on the motorcycle circuit, but we don't have many on the Speedway. And that's kind of a shame, because this is really a track where pretty much any car can come out here and just race at full speed. And it's really, it's funny racing a car as slow as this one's going, because the McLaren that I was going to race here goes 270 miles an hour, and it goes around the track and just never slows down or anything. So it's really, really funny. Somebody's revving an actual car outside my window. Let's see. I don't think I'm going to win this one. Very doubtful. Oh, I have the sound turned off. I just remembered that. Mostly because I don't like it to be on when I'm playing. I've never been one for the weird car audio sounds. And then when I record, it makes a really weird, it's really hard to get the audio correct. So I usually don't do it. And so that's why all you get in this video is my luxurious voice. Looks like I might be able to finish third. Don't think first place is going to happen. But after this, we're going to go have some fun on some endurance races. That's why I had to put it in airplane mode, because otherwise I would have been sitting here having to run 300 miles to win an endurance race, and I'm obviously not going to do that. This is definitely not the ideal car for this, but it is fun to drive one of these. I think it was the Challenger. Real Racing Guru did a video where he was looking at the worst cars in the game, and this was years ago that he did this, but he said that to measure the top speed and the acceleration on the Challenger, you didn't need a speedometer, you needed a calendar. And I thought that was pretty funny. And here we are. Potentially this is the last laps I race at Daytona. Third place. I'll probably have to go back and do another one just for fun. Another like actual NASCAR race. Put that in for service. I will say you should probably put all your cars in for service, because if you don't service them in the next couple of days, you are not going to be able to. You're going to have to use gold to service your cars. For this one, we are going to go to McLaren Generations, and we're going to race this one. For some reason, and I don't understand why, I end up with like the minimum bots on this race, even though I always go like an obscene distance, which I'm not going to do today. I'm just going to do a lap or two. But this race right here was, for a while, the absolute best farming race in the game. The fame payouts used to be better than they are now, and the bots used to be much closer together. And you could go forever. It was an endless endurance race. And they did away with that. And I know somebody's going to come on here and say that ME7, the other YouTuber, has gone 100 miles in one of the Nissans. But in this race right here, there are pictures on the Real Racing 3 fandom wiki site where guys went 3,000 miles. You know, they would race for 20 hours on 100% fame day and then use the agent and would get, 6 or 7 levels out of one race. But of course, because this is what the developers are good for, they made sure to cancel that one. And I'm just going to let this one run out, and I'm not going to pass any more cars. Otherwise, I'm going to get wrapped up in it, and then I'll be at 15 or 20 miles, and I don't want to do that. So I'll just race another mile or two. These laps go by so fast, I didn't even realize that I was getting up there. But yeah, this race right here was the absolute pinnacle of the game. And then, they fixed it. And I use that in quotes because it's ridiculous. Like, I don't know. That's what they do. Anything that's good for the players, they tend to screw up. And anything that benefits us, they get rid of. They got rid of team racing rather than keeping it around because they were too stupid to fix it. And yeah, I'll say it exactly like that. I don't care. There was a bunch of us players who offered up all kinds of solutions to them, and they just never wanted to take it. Like, it's ridiculously simple to tell who's cheating. Like, you can figure it out incredibly quick. But they didn't want to have anything to do with it. And so we haven't had team racing realistically since early 2020. I think they did try to come back with it a time or two, but it never worked. There we go, 14 miles at Indianapolis. Put that one in for service. And I've got 2 more races to go. Let's come here into the exclusives. This was another extremely popular farming race. The Porsche Test Track Endurance. And I am extremely out of practice on this one. I have not run this race in years. Probably 6 or 7 years. Like, realistically, maybe 6. So I have no idea what I'm doing. But that's what you did. You cut through. I would have gotten off the gas there. But with this one, there was not a lot. I didn't want to do that. I was in a bad place with that one. There was not a lot to this. I think the longest distance I ever went in this race was well over 400 miles. One of the things that you used to be able to do, they did away with this. You used to be able to start races prior to the start of a team event, and it would count. So you would start your race, and then you would just make sure you were signed in when the timer clicked over and the next race was due to start. And it would count. Normally, that's not a big deal. Because if it's a speed snap challenge or something, okay, whatever, you get a 20-second head start on somebody. But in this one, it was some sort of a high mileage race, and I sat here and raced 350 miles or so in this car, and then as soon as the clock started, like it was time for the team event to start, I was immediately ready to go, and I just started, and all of a sudden I was on the board with 350 miles, and that was, that was just something we were able to do. And obviously there were people who was like, that's not fair. No, it's totally fair. You literally made the choice to not do it. Like, you could have done that, and you chose not to. I am going to go for just long enough to actually win this race and no further. Maybe I'll go 10. Might go 10 miles, but not too far, because this is just, it's a skilled race. You definitely have to do this race, and plus it's going to take up time, and I don't want, rather wouldn't have done that. I don't want this video to be 3 hours long. This is definitely not the cleanest race to run. Okay, there we go. I ran too far through the line. I always hated this one because it's just the light condition on your screen is terrible. I wish this would have been like a daylight race, or even just a night race. A night race would have been better than this. But, it's what we've got. And, yeah, I did a lot of farming on this race. I figured it up that if you ran 65 miles, that's not 65 laps, that's 65 miles, that it was the equivalent of a 10-lap race in the LMP prototype cars. So I knew if I went for 130 miles, that was the equivalent of 2 races, but I was only burning a single gold, and then 195 would be 3. Obviously it's slower than the 10-lap race, so if you're only going for a single one, it's not really the best. It only starts being beneficial when you're trying to go for multiples. Like, you're trying to go for 200 miles, let's say, and you're using the agent, and it's 100% fame or something like that. All right, so I'm not going to pass this guy. I'm just going to drive this out for 80 seconds, and then I'll go to the last race. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Looks like I'll be able to get probably one more lap. I'll just go kind of slow so I don't have to finish the lap and keep the timer going. But yeah, I mean, this was a fantastic race for farming. Obviously, if you've seen my numbers, I'm level 1300 something. So, nope. There we go, 12.0. That 99 would have agitated me. I will for sure be able to get one more level up. Probably won't, I mean, I won't get it on the video, but I'll be able to get one more. Oh no, low battery. That's intolerable. Okay, the last race. I'm going to go here to the Pro-Am. Everyday Heroes, and we're going to come right here to Laguna Seca. This car right here, many of you probably recognize it, especially if you've been playing for more than a couple years. This is the first car that you drive in the game. Yep, I'm going to turn the assist back on. I'm not going to fool with this. This is the first car that you used to drive the introductory race, and it was right here at Laguna Seca. To be honest, this is not the last race I'm going to race. It's just the last one I'm going to record. Although, I mean, I may come back here just for like a symbolism of it, but I did think this would be a cool one to close out the video on. But yeah, you know, this was where it all started. You downloaded the game and it pops up that screen, and then you end up sitting cockpit mode. Actually, you know what? I'll switch to that. Cockpit mode at Laguna Seca, and this is how it all started, because you had to sit there and turn the wheel from side to side so that it knew what you were doing. So yeah, we'll go cockpit mode here. Three laps at Laguna Seca. For the first, oh, that's somebody from my race team. That's funny. I joined a team again because the IRA, I don't like saying IRA, the IRA team was my team for the longest time. And I couldn't join the current IRA. It was full with 20 people, and obviously there's no way to really contact anybody on the game. Otherwise, I kind of would have asked them. But IRA 2 was available, so I joined that one. One of the guys that was on our team, his stepdaughter was named Ira. It was that was shortened for something, but that was the story for how the team got its name. Obviously, there were some people in Ireland and England who were not the biggest fans of that name, but when we sort of explained it to them, they got it, even if it was sort of unsettling. And but there was interesting kind of talk around that. Like, is there letter combinations that Real Racing 3 won't let you use? And I mean, I think there are. Like, you can't use like blatant cuss words, I don't think. But obviously some of there was at one time a team ISIS, so that was weird. I don't know if they knew what it meant or could mean. So this is potentially drawing it to a close. Into the corner we go, and across the finish line. that is a wrap. I will most likely make some more videos if they are possible to make. You know, if the game remains playable, I will probably make some more videos just over time, just fooling around. But for right now, that is potentially it. You can see here that I've got to get about 1 million more motorsport dollars. I want to be capped out on that whenever whatever happens. And I want to try to get some more gold in the bank. But that does it. I appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate all your support over the years. And we will see what happens with the game. We'll see what happens with my YouTube channel. We'll see what happens with the Facebook group. And we'll see what happens with everything else in the world. But for now, I do appreciate every one of you out there watching this over the years. And hopefully, I will see you on the next one.